So I was supposed to do this recording tomorrow because during the week I was having this particular conversation with my husband where we were discussing about something related to this. Yes, I was like, okay, on Sunday I'm just going to drop it out there because it's been on my mind, right? And you guys know that I don't post anything unless it has been like impressed on my mind, if that English makes sense. But then on my way back from work, I was listening to this interview by done on Ife's diary. I don't know if you guys know, Ife herself. So literally I was listening to this recording and what the lady said was just like profound. It's just like the final confirmation for me to do this recording. So before I proceed further, I want you guys to listen with me.
I love my friend.
Yes,
I love my relationship.
yes.
At what point in your life, because I know you also very choose your friends very carefully, align with your values and all of that. At what point in your life did you realize the power of female support system?
I think quite early for me. I'll say maybe I was about 19, 19, 20. I think a lot and I'm very introspective. And I was like that from a very young age. And I think that gave me an edge. And so from when I was about 19, I started to choose my friends depending on how they made me feel. So if you come around me, and maybe when I was young, I didn't really understand it, but if you upset my nervous system, I didn't want to see you again.
Yeah.
And you say certain things to me, I may not have cut you off, but I've put you at arm's length. But as I started to get older, into my early 20s and my mid 20s, I got married, I would like to say quite early. I was 26. I had just turned 26, 1 month after my 26th birthday. I started to really take into consideration the type of people I wanted in my life. And it has just been smooth sailing since then.
Yeah.
Well, not all smooth, but
yes, I was going to say,
Okay, so let me just stop there. I hope we heard that. So the conversation I was having with my husband was we're discussing that how is it that there is a particular boss, just an assumption or an illustration, that comes on a particular group, right? And everybody finds it difficult to flow with that boss because they feel that he's too strict or he's too hard on everyone and all. But then there are some other set of people that finds it easy with this boss, like they know how to find their way around the same boss. How is it that, how can you explain that? And I remember I was saying that there's some kind of people, let's bring it down to normal day life, like friendship and all, society, our community and all, right? And then I remember we were saying that there are some people that the friendship is over, you're the one that is just forcing it. Like, I'm not saying to sound like a bad person, but the elasticity, if that makes sense, or the longevity of that relationship is supposed to have been over for a long time, but you guys are the ones still forcing things. Letting things go does not mean that both parties are bad people or they cannot make things work. It's just that the purpose for that friendship to be at that certain time, it has fulfilled its purpose, and that is it. And this brings me to that the fact that there are some kind of people that are very difficult, like they are so difficult to relate with, and there's this strong pull in you that like you just cannot help but show them grace. I was saying about a friend of mine that Apostle Joshua Selman was saying something. I might be everywhere, but I pray that the Holy Spirit helps you to get the message, right? So he was saying something that there are some people that are not that so good, but God has destined you to receive something or to learn something from them. So it takes you going back to God to pray for wisdom, to know how to deal with that person so as to gain what you want to gain from them. And I remember my husband citing an example of a particular prophet in the Bible that had a lot of not so good characters, and there was somebody that was learning and growing under him, but he had to be patient. God had to grant him that wisdom to deal. So that's the point, right? Some relationships are long overdue for you to let go of, and there are some that you have to fight on. frightened in the sense that you could just feel that pull that no, your spirit is not letting go yet. And I would say that it comes down to having the spirit of discernment, right? I remember that after secondary school, or I had friends in uni and the experiences and everything. So, but then I remember that I got to a point where I just didn't want any friends around me. And then when I realized that, okay, there's this particular person that, okay, she's been cool, she's been this, and then I decided to like sit her down and be like, okay, babes, I want us to be friends. Like, it was that deep for me. It wasn't just a mere thing that I would just like go into. Like, I had to like it had to settle in my spirit. And like what she said, that there are some people that she had to put at arm's length, because when you check their values and their goals, you know that I can't work with this person. It doesn't make you, it doesn't make you somebody that is now trying to be perfect. It's just because you know yourself, you know where you're going, you know what you want, and you're just putting yourself where is right for your mental health, right? Let me just put it that way. You're putting yourself in a situation where your mental health is at peace. You have a strong backup. You have a strong community of friends that can rise up for you and have your back. What's the point in having 100 friends or 10 friends or 20 friends when you cannot even show up for them? Let's start from there. You can't show up for them when they are in need, and they cannot even show up for you when you're in need. What's the point of the friendship? That's where I'm going to. And I've had this saying of okay, you are a bad person, or you're not such a good person because this particular person you always speak bad of, this particular person that you don't see the good in. Other people are working with them, other people are fine with them, they are jovial and laughing. At some point it began to bother me. I'm like, okay, maybe it's me, maybe I should like calm down. And I realized that I'll be so calm and allow that person to work on me, tell me to do things, and I will just do it just because I'm like, okay, maybe it's me, let me like sustain and want peace. But then it started getting like this person is like trying to like be showing power over me, sending me on, like taking advantage. Yeah, literally, that's the word. Then I'm like, okay, this cannot work. It got to a point where if I know that I'm going on a mission, like probably an assignment or something, and I know that I'm going to encounter this person, I would literally start praying. Hey, Holy Spirit, help me. Maybe it's me. Grant me the grace to deal. Fill my heart with love. I can't tell you how many prayer points, but still, it just didn't work. And I just got to a point where I'm like, you know what? Others might be fine with this person, but it ain't just working. So let's just keep it at arm's length. Let's just keep it as hi, hello. We don't have to be friends. We don't have to force it. Let's just be cool on our lenses. And it doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. Neither does it mean that that person is a bad person. But for us to sustain peace, like, I don't want to use this Bible verse that is coming to my head that if your hand will cause you to sin, that no. So let's just keep it cool. Hi, hello. And I realized that I had to like shut that thing down, because today we are fine, tomorrow we are fighting. What's the point in going? And there are some people that, I know that this video is going long, but I feel like God is wanting me to drop this video for somebody that is holding on to a friendship or a relationship that you shouldn't be holding on to, that that the expiring date has been long gone, but you're still holding on, you're still like pushing yourself, you're still like, okay, maybe you are the one that has the issue. If it's not working, especially if you have a spiritual person and you feel like your spirit is not at peace with it, please just pray. Tell the Holy Spirit to lead you on what to do, and just let it go if that's what the Holy Spirit is asking you to do. And there are some that you guys have been friends for like forever, but you can still feel the bond no matter how much you fight, no matter the issue, like no matter how deep the issue is, you just carry grace. Sometimes, maybe because like she said, she's a very introspective person, if I'm saying that in English, right? So it means that somebody that is self-aware, somebody that evaluates themselves, that thinks a lot, that think about what they do, evaluate it, like literally, yeah. Maybe because I'm that kind of person, I tend not to see things as just the physical thing that is happening, because there is more than what beats the eyes, right? The spiritual controls the physical. So why should I just base it on? And this has worked for me even years when I have not even, you know, known God or walk more closer to God, right? Pardon me, guys. So I could have friends that are so nice to me, buy me things and all, but in my dreams, I'm like seeing them the opposite. It's contradicting. And at the same time, I could have people that like that knowing, that consciousness that you cannot just explain, is just there. And there are some people that, thank you, Holy Spirit, and there are some people that you know that you are still supposed to be in friendship with this person. I still have such people, you know. But at that point in my life, right, where I was at that time, spiritually, and my maturity level in understanding and dealing with people at that time, as a matter of fact, I'm still growing, I'm still learning, but at that time I didn't handle things wisely, and I regret it, right? And going back is now a difficult thing. I still have not figured it out, but in my mind, in my spirit, I know that I shouldn't have like acted badly to this person, if I can put it that way. It wasn't like I acted badly, it was because I was immature at that point. I didn't understand certain things, certain values that you respect people when you respect those around them. And to me then, it wasn't as though I wasn't respecting, it was because I was shy, right? I wasn't that close to people around them, I was just close to them. So I didn't know that you're supposed to also respect. Let's just say in one word, I've lost, I know, I could feel it, that I have lost friendship as well that I was supposed to keep and hold on to. And I know as well that there are some that I just cannot feel it working. And if I cannot feel it working, doesn't mean I'm a bad person. Just respect yourself and just listen and let it go. And there are some that, thank you, Holy Spirit, I'm just citing examples so that you know where, you know, it falls in. And there are some that we've parted ways for years, and all of a sudden I just started having dreams, and I started seeing this particular person. I will have dreams, I will see her, I will have dreams. I'm like, what's going on? Not to, like, literally God was trying to tell me that a couple of months after, I now realized that I was in a stage where I needed help, and the only person I could reach out to at that point was that my friend. And like the next day she just came through. So I feel like these things are not all physical. And at this point, I had to tell myself that, you know what, I don't care if you call me a bad person. I don't care if you say, okay, it's me that have the issue. We are all a work in progress, right? But then, if it's not working, don't force it. Because at the end of the day, thank you, Holy Spirit. I remember a movie I watched as well, Flake of Us, there, something like that, a movie by Bam Bam and all, right? They've been friends for a while, something happened, they departed, and then they came back together again. If you ask me, I would say that they shouldn't have. I mean, circumstances happen and they had to like come together and be friends again. Okay, you guys can meet again, but probably not on that deep closeness friendship level, if you get what I mean. But then the ending is now something that is now taking both parties to like need grace and strength to forgive. Whereas if you are just let go and let God and listen. I remember Apostle Arume also saying that there's some friendship that are divine. I can't remember that video, but he's saying that there's some friendship that even you know that it's God that has connected me to this person for this particular season to fulfill this purpose. Right? And there are some that it will even keep on lasting till eternity, like till you guys leave this earth. So please, let's not just look at things with you know, vibe, could vibe me, spirit man. On a normal day, I'm not even that hello vibing person. I'm a very calm person, right? So even if you want to say could vibe me, I take it, I accept it. But guys, listen. If there's that friendship that you know, you feel in your spirit strongly that you're supposed to let this friendship go, please let it go. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, regardless of how the person will see you, before it turns out to be something that in future that you cannot now handle, or you guys will now go badly separately, like you guys will now have to separate on a very bad note. So please let it go. I don't want this video to take long. I remember that I this is touching life in every aspect. See you later, guys. Bye.